It has been 4 years. 4 years since I made the first video on this channel. And it sucks. Yeah, I look back at a lot of old videos and their shitty audio quality, boring visuals, and I just have the utmost shame about them. Especially when one of them is my most popular video on this channel. I'm not kidding. Thing is, these videos are low-key really important. Not to toot my own horn, but they provide some information on some major or minor things you might not have known about Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt as a franchise. So no matter how hard I try to twist it, no matter how embarrassed I am by these things, I can't just delete them or even unlist them. What if I remake them? Yes, starting today, I'll be remaking all my 2021 videos, from the merchandise video all the way to the iceberg video, with like 2 exceptions. And even then, for archival purposes, I will not be deleting the original videos. These are what started the channel, and I'm not gonna act like they didn't happen, even if I want to. God, these suck. So starting off the actual video, merchandise. If you know me, you know I like spending a weird amount of money on merchandise on things I like. I mean, my favorite thing ever right now is meant to just sell me plushies. And as a fan of Panty and Stocking, I've decided to dedicate a decent chunk of my life to documenting this stuff. So today, I'm going to go through every official piece of Panty and Stocking merchandise. In the original video, I did include a lot of garage kits, and while they're endorsed by Gynex to an extent, they are not exactly official, so they won't be in this version of the video this time around. I'll also be including physical media like DVDs, Blu-rays, and CDs, just to knock out all 3 of those stupid videos I made. Let's start with figurines, versions of the characters in a plastic format that are either posable or just meant to look nice on a shelf. Starting with the ones produced by Sega. Yes, the Sega that controls my life. These figures were made by their subsidiary company called Sega Prize as part of their PM figure line on October 17th, 2011. These are pretty standard figures for the show, them in their angelic attire striking a pose similar to the transformation scene. These ones might fall on the slightly cheaper side, only costing about 1,500 yen and being made out of PVC plastic. And instead of being able to purchase these, you actually had to win them as prizes. Next up are the Nendroids by Good Smile Company. If you don't know what Nendroids are by now, they're Japanese figures of chibi versions of iconic characters with interchangeable parts. Both Panty and Stocking will receive the Nendroid treatment, and they both look pretty good. The attention to detail in their pieces is to be commended, especially with them coming with alternative pieces depending on if they're using their weapons or not. Plenty of extra arms, and even Chuck and Hana Kaneko being accessories for the sisters that both cost 3,333 yen on their June 23rd, 2011 release date. The manufacturer Fat Company would make their own line of Panty and Stocking figures, these figures coming in twin packs where you get 2 figures and typically a small accessory-like figure to complete the set. The line consists of Panty and Stocking with Chuck, Scanty and knee socks with fastener, Panty and Stocking in their angelic attire with a heaven coin, and Panty and Stocking in their cop outfits along with Chuck, all getting a Galaxy-esque paint job. We'll get to Galaxy later, don't worry. The Panty and Stocking and Scanty and knee socks pack released on September 28, 2011, costing 1,800 yen. And the Galaxy figures would come out on March 28, 2012, with the Angelic figures following after on May 28, 2012, with them both costing 2,095 yen. But there was an even additional release in the Panty and Stocking line you might not have expected. Both Yoko Littner and Nia Templin from Gurren Lagann would get Fat Company figures in the style of Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt, with a Buddha accessory to round them off. This was released on July 17, 2018 for 4,400 yen. Overall, I really do like the Fat Company figures. They're really good standard figures of the two and look very nice. Next up would be considered one of the many holy grails of Panty and Stocking merchandise. This Rio Bone set by Sentimental. These are highly articulated interchangeable figures of both Panty and Stocking, with Panty being released on January 27, 2012 and Stocking being released on May 24, 2012, both of them being 3,800 yen. These figures are both amazing. Not only being extremely posable, meaning they're fun figures to both play around with, but also coming with insane accessories you wouldn't expect, like their sunglasses, Panty shotgun, Stocking's pudding. These things, in my opinion, are the best Panty and Stocking figures, and they look amazing. Sentinel would also give their hand at figures of the girls in their angelic attire, these two being a part of their Metamorphos line, with Panty releasing on December 20, 2011 and Stocking releasing on January 14, 2012. Both being 8,500 yen. These figures are pretty unique due to the girls being on a stripping pole. Man, how have I not been age restricted? Overall, they're nice figures. I prefer these than the other ones due to them being more unique poses for them than just standing there. Alter would also have their hands at making panty and stocking figures, arguably the best versions of each set of sisters in their angelic and demon attire. Panty would release on June 14th, 2012, knee socks would follow on September 3rd, 2012, stockings shortly after on October 4th, 2012, and Scanty would later release on July 24th, 2013, with them all retailing for 7,800 yen. They're overall good figures and have some of the most detail out of all of these types of figures. Really nice paint, really nice sculpts, really good figures. Groove would make their own panty and stocking figures a part of their doll/Dolica/pupil line. There's a lot of names for these things. These figures are basically anime characters in the style of American little girl dolls like Barbie, with fake hair and realistic eyes and all. Both released in August 2011 for 3,800 yen. These aren't bad figures per se, but they're definitely not something I'm personally a huge fan of due to them being just a tad creepy. They're well made though, even including wristlets for Chuck and Haneka Neko. So the very popular Japanese manufacturer Band Presto would make a decent chunk of panty and stocking merchandise, with it mainly being a part of the Ichiban Kuji panty and stocking with Garderbelt Lucky Lottery. In case you don't know what they are, Lucky Lotteries in Japan are services where you can buy a ticket to obtain items. Essentially, think of a raffle where you win something regardless. This started in around mid-November 2012, where each ticket costed 500 yen, with the A and B prizes ended up being 6-inch figures of panty and stocking. Pretty standard figures of the two, but these figures would have a decent amount of alternatives. For one, the special last prizes, which are items you get by pulling the last ticket, would be figures of panty and stocking with a galaxy paint job. Again, we'll get to them later. These figures were special, with panty only being sold at convenience stores, anime stores, and Wonder Goo stores, while stocking was limited to Tam Tam hobby shops and Tsutaya stores. And there was one last special alternative of these figures, these being the gold paint jobs to the two. These were given in a set together and were the double chance figures, which just means there were less than 100 made, with this set only having 50 units. These are overall fine figures, my personal favorite being the Galaxy ones. I just like the unique paint job. These weren't the only figures by Van Presto though, as the F prize would be randomly selected card figures of panty, stocking, scanty, knee socks, and a secret figure of brief. These are really nice though. If I'm being honest, I prefer them to the larger figures. What can I say? I prefer the cartoonier looking panty and stocking figurines. The company Cospa, which is someone you'll become very familiar with over the video, ended up making panty, stocking, and brief figurines a part of their graphic line, which are basically little papercraft figures in a more high quality standard. They're really cute though, I love them with their big old heads and tiny little bodies. These things were released in November 2011 for 600 yen. And up next are figures that weren't part of any kind of line, just one-off figures that were released. Starting with the Orchid Seed figure of Panty in her school attire. This figure was released on December 26, 2013 with interchangeable parts. Just more lewd ones. You could pose Panty holding two back laces, pulling down her panties, or just completely nude from the waist down. Yeah, I'm not showing that. Horniness aside, I'm also just not a fan of this figure in general. Her face looks so odd, it just looks so weird. Knee Socks would get her own figure by Yamato as a part of their extra story image figure line, which released on October 31st, 2012 for 11,800 yen. Jeez. It's a fine figure, nothing crazy, but pretty nice pose I guess. And lastly would be the Bear Brick figure of Haneka Neko by Medicom Toy. In case you don't know, Bear Bricks are little figures of iconic characters with bear-shaped heads and bodies, with Haneka Neko getting his own. How cute. And to round things off, we're going to talk about figures semi-related to new panty and stocking with Garderbelt by the Good Smile Company. While these figures were announced before the announcement of new panty and stocking with Garderbelt, I assume they will be coming out most likely in time to promote new panty and stocking with Garderbelt. The first two figures were revealed at Good Smile's pop-up parade in 2021, with them getting later revisions in 2022. The same can be said for the Repent version of the figures, with them not getting a revision like the other two, they were just re-revealed. And to end off this segment genuinely this time, we're gonna go over a few cancelled figures, starting with the Good Smile figures of panty and stocking in their angelic attire. Nothing is really known about these figures, just a photo of an ad featuring concept art of the sisters. Looks like they got to live out their dream in the end though. Sentinel also had 3 extra panty and stocking with Garderbelt items planned. The first 2 being figures of Panty's Bitch Shakirin and Stocking's Gothic retie designs from the Trans Homer episodes. Along with that, there was a cancelled figure of Garderbelt not making the cut either. This is the only Garderbelt figure. Well, was. And lastly would be a canceled figure of Stocking by Orchid Seed. This was meant to coincide with the Panty figure, but seemingly never got past the prototype phase. Moving on to probably the shortest part of this video, we have plushies. Starting off our soft and cuddly besties will be the Hane Kaneko plush by Medicom Toy. Yeah, expect to see him a lot. He was released in April 2011 for 3,800 yen, and is scaled at about 20 inches, making him optimal for cosplays and the sorts. The first line of plushies though would be by Sega, with them releasing these hanging mascot figures. They kinda suck. These were released as prizes in November 2011, and they're just stuffed cushions with stock art of the characters slapped onto them. Sega would also have another line of Panty and Stocking hanging mascot plushies. These were released in December 2010, with this line of actually being unique plushes. Too bad they still kind of suck. Whilst Brief and Garterbelt look alright, Panty and Stocking look so wrong, Panty being 90% forehead and Stocking looking up into the sky permanently. Eventually it seems like Panty and Stocking would get revisions not to look as bad, with Panty not looking to the side anymore and Stocking's eyes being scaled down slightly, but that still really doesn't fix them. Especially Panty, her head looks like fucking toast. Movic would get a try at making a short-lived line of plushies of the pet characters, with Chuck and Hane Kaneko releasing in February 2011 for 1,260 yen, and Fastener releasing on June 16, 2011 for the same amount as the other two. This is also the only Fastener plush. They all look pretty damn good. Their Chuck and Fastener plushies look really damn good, while their Hane Kaneko wouldn't be as good as the Medicom Toy one. It would be pretty unique in the fact that it was smaller and had a strap. Band Presto will release two Hane Kaneko plushies, the first one being available for retail sale in 2011 for 1,200 yen, this one being another ideal one for cosplays being 14 inches, and the other one will be a part of the Ichiban Kuji Panty and Stocking with Garterbelt Lucky Lottery as Prize C, this one being smaller and at around 8 inches. Another line of Panty and Stocking plushies would be the line by Animate. The line released on November 3rd, 2011 for 1,260 yen, featuring Panty, Stocking, and Brief. Panty and Stocking both have these super cute black lines, and Brief's eyes are actually ironed on underneath his hair. I really love these plushies, they're just so cute and tiny, I love them, they're adorable. When bringing this show to the US, Funimation would license Panty and Stocking out to Great Eastern Entertainment, or as I'll be calling them for the rest of the video, GE. They would end up making 5 plushies for Panty and Stocking with Garterbelt. Of course, the 2 title characters, which look alright. Stocking isn't bad, arguably, just looking a tad cheap and depressed. But Panty has it really bad. For some reason they made her cross-eyed, and the poor girl just looks so brain dead. I don't know what happened to her. The other 3 plushies would be Chuck, who looks terrifying, honestly, Hello Kitty, and a Hello Kitty backpack. Yes. By the way, if I refer to them as Hello Kitty, that means it's an American item. These look fine though. I wouldn't call them anything fantastic, but they get the job done for their prices. Which I don't know anything about their retail prices, but back when they were still on Amazon, like in 2020, they were like $12 to $20, roughly. And lastly on the list are my personal favorite Panty and Stocking plushies, the plushies by Chungai Mining. These things in my opinion are absolutely perfect. Can't get much better at making Panty and Stocking in plush form in my personal opinion. Only issue I have is that it seems like Stocking and Panty's expressions should be a little flipped. These were limited plushies released in December 2017, sold for 3,600 yen on the Gainax store and in the Chungai Mining event booth. Seriously, I love these things. I would do almost anything to get my hands on them. They're just so fucking adorable. Next up is Apparel. This section is pretty long, so buckle in. Firstly, Movic would make their own Panty and Stocking clothes as well. One of the shirts being a Panty and Stocking shirt with Crazy on it, and another one being a Stocking cosplay stockings. But now we move on to Galaxy. Galaxy is a streetwear clothing brand who heavily promoted Panty and Stocking with Garterbelt, even giving the franchise its own event at their store that lasted from November 13th, 2010 to November 28th, 2010. At this event, they revealed a bunch of new Galaxy merchandise, and while I don't know what was revealed at the event, I can assume some of the merchandise I mentioned throughout this video as Galaxy has been. I just can't exactly pin down what was revealed at the event, so sorry. First on the list would be these pretty standard shirts. These are shirts of Panty, Stocking, Chuck, and Hane Kaneko with their names in Japanese written above them. Next up would be the Panty and Stocking crop top shirts. These are pretty neat if not a little goofy looking, especially with how mad both the sisters look, my god. It's Scanty and knee socks would also get crop t-shirts as well that look just as goofy, but Panty, Stocking, Garter Belt, and Brief would all get standard t-shirts, even removing the bow from Stocking's front to seem a little more unisex. Galaxy would give pieces of clothing to Panty's Bitchmaster and Stocking's Gothic Empress designs from the Transformers episode, a geek shirt that comes in multiple colors. They made a Chuck all over print hoodie, a Hone Kaneko cosplay hoodie, and a Hone Kaneko cardigan that actually looks really damn nice. I kinda want this thing. And the last piece of panty and stocking with Garter Belt apparel by Galaxy would be their panty and stocking necktie. Yes, there was a necktie. Hardcore Chocolate would get their hands on panty and stocking with Garter Belt, releasing 2 shirts, one with the titles of multiple episodes on it, and another featuring what seems to be cosplayers. Cosplay would be pretty influential player in the release of Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt merchandise, them mainly focusing on releasing graphic tees. They have a Girls Direct t-shirt that came in white and gray when it released in May 2011 for 2,900 yen, a Demon Sister shirt that came in black, a Repent shirt that came in black and pink for 2,900 yen, February 2012, and lastly, the Cowper Ghost from the episode Pulp Addiction got a t-shirt in February 2011 with the stain and a very, very, very suggestive arrow pointing down to, well, yeah, don't wear this shirt in public, you look like a fucking loser. And the final shirt by Cosplay will be the Squeeze shirt, which features really cute art for the sisters in the style of the Squeeze line. Yes, it's spelled S9EZ and said like squeeze. Gynax would also make their own panty and stocking shirt in-house, this being a heart shirt that comes in black and pink. Pretty basic, but it's just nice. It's got unique art, which is a pretty standout for these shirts. GE would of course let at least one shirt in the US slide through things, this being this shirt primarily focused on stocking, weirdly enough. GE also made a cosplay item in the form of Panty's RTPD hat from the episode of The Dead. Pretty neat, to be honest with you. I don't see minor things like this usually get releases in the US, so that's pretty cool. And GE's last apparel items would be this knit cap of the Demon Sisters logo on it. You know, they use this logo in a bit of merch, but I didn't even recognize the hat when I saw it on eBay since it's barely in the show. I thought this was a mislabeled Batman hat. One event you may know of is the 2017 Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt Cafe, and at the cafe numerous pieces of apparel were made for the event. Starting with the Panty and Stocking scrunchies, panties coming in pink and black and stockings coming in white. I think the colors were mixed up there. One of the most unique items at the Panty and Stocking Cafe though were the Panty and Stocking shoes. These were initially shoes made by Kobe Shokin as a surprise gift to Gynax. The shoes were later used as shoes for the staff and then sold on the store site, coming in Panty and Stocking color waves and men and women's models. These are actually really nice looking shoes too. I would love to have a pair. Of course, for basic attire though, they made 2 shirts and 2 hoodies. Arma Bianca is a company that took a stab at a few panty and stocking clothing items. These 2 shirts mainly being a shiny shirt with panty and stocking and a shirt of a bunch of random text and images. And for one of the No Pan Night events by OT Japan, they would release a PSG Club Tour shirt that even glows in the dark. This shirt was seemingly only for staff, but there are product images associated with it, so I'm not exactly sure. Now we're on to the uncategorized shirts. Shirts that I don't have a company, event, or really any info besides the fact that they exist to go off of when I'm talking about them. So let's make this a lightning round. This shirt of Hana Kaneku, a really cool shirt of the girls in their school attire. Cosplay wigs for panty, stocking, scanty, and knee socks. A shirt featuring this thing from High School Noodle episode. A Fallen Angel shirt. A Garter Belt shirt with a very inspiring quote. Panty and stocking cosplay dresses. Panties patch and necktie. Panty and stocking school skirts. And a stocking cosplay top and patch. Hiroyuki Amashi, the creator of Panty and Stocking, had his own event headed by the Good Style company called The World of Amashi. Around the time of this event, we had gotten the announcement that Trigger had officially acquired Panty and Stocking from Gynax's Dying Cold Hands. And at this event, Panty and Stocking were used heavily in merchandise alongside other Trigger and Gynax characters. With this, there will be plenty of apparel at the event. A t-shirt that came in black or white, a long sleeve shirt that came in black or white, and a Coach jacket. And to round things off with new Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt, when Trigger showed the first trailer for the show in August 2023, they released a small line of merchandise that included t-shirts of panty, stocking, scanty, knee socks, garter, and brief with an extra fuck off shirt for all 6,600 yen. Now this part of the video is actually taken from my Panty and Stocking physical releases video, but I decided to merge it in and expand it for the fuck of it. Of course, one of the first releases will be the Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt original soundtrack, which released on December 29th, 2010. An OST featuring almost every track used in the show, with a secret track that teased a season 2.
ストッキン私らが出演したアニメ「パンティー&ストッキング with ガーターベルト」がどうやら大ヒットで続編の制作が決定したらしいぜ。
はあ、そんなの誰が決めたのよ。
続編って言ったらアーク Z がジェネレーションつか私の風にはシーズン2ついでに1本足しちゃったりしてトリロジーってのはどうよ。
ちょっと
いやもうそこまでいったらシーズン4、5、6っていっそシーズン100ってまでいっちゃうか。そんなにハリウッドで映画化も夢じゃないっつうか、むしろ必然つうか世界的なスターになるのも時間の問題。私が世界が私をほっとかないってのは。
ちょっとパンティ
てかよく考えてみればこの星にも収まんねえっつう話。こうなら宇宙や宇宙パンティーインザスペース、要するに遥か遠い銀河切りってわけ。私らの活躍は未来永劫語り継がれるべき無限に続くサーガになるのよ。やれ人気者は辛いぜ。でもそれが私の宿命、受け入れるべき運命。オッケーやってやろうじゃない。で、いつからやるって？
知んないわよこの毒されゲロクソビッチ。
次回パンティー&ストッキングガーターベルトシーズン2。
だから決まってないって言ってんでしょうが。でも実際問題今石監督次第ね。
Well, at least it went somewhere 15 years later. Another album to release would be the Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt, The Worst Album, which released on July 20th, 2011, featuring mainly remixes, a few new songs, and a series of audio dramas called Cherry Carita. You'll be missed, Scribble Stocking. You truly were a pioneer. Kicking off physical releases of the show would be the Kadokawa Shoten Pictures releases. Those evil fuckers. Yes, though, these are the original Blu-ray releases of the show, dropping monthly from December 24th, 2010 to May 27th, 2011. 6 volumes, 2 episodes, 2 discs, 4 episode segments. All with special features and a 18-page booklet called D City Magazine, and a sheet of stickers. These were really great releases of the show. The extras they come with are super cool, and volumes 2 and 4 got their own special extras as well. Volume 2 coming with a case for all of the Blu-rays, and Volume 4 coming with an album called the Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt bonus CD. This containing mainly TV versions of tracks along with a few extra new tracks. Overall, these are gorgeous releases too, with the art drawn by Atsushi Nishigori being the cherry on top. One thing that sucks about a lot of these releases though is that a lot of their extras have been kind of lost to time. While a good chunk are still findable, some, especially the Japanese ones, are hard as hell to find. So I'm sorry if I can't go too in depth about the details and extras. Funimation, having dubbing rights to Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt, will release multiple physical releases. Firstly is Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt the Complete Series DVD, released on July 10th, 2012, coming on 3 discs containing Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt and Sanitary Box and other extras. This show would later be released on Blu-ray on January 15, 2013, using art primarily from the kadokawa releases of the show, with the main cover having a glittery style to it, featuring the same extras as the DVD release. For later releases of the show, Funimation would add Panty and Stocking to its anime classics lineup on September 23rd, 2014, with a few new extras, and then re-release it once again a part of its anime essentials lineup on July 9th, 2019. The Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt dub was so well received though, even by Japanese fans of the show, so Kadokawa would release the Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt Forever Bitch Edition box set, featuring the original Japanese version of the show, the Funimation dub of the show, and an art book, with a cover featuring new artwork by Atsushi Nishigori. And recently, a new box set release of Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt has been confirmed so far, called the Panty and Stocking All-Time Bitch Edition, releasing on June 25th, 2025 for 12,000 yen. This box set will feature the entire series both in English and Japanese, and pretty much all the extras from the Forever Bitch Edition. Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt, the original soundtrack, will also be getting re-released on vinyl on May 15th, 2025. And last, yet probably longest part of this damn video, miscellaneous items. Items that didn't exactly fit one category and that could be grouped here for my sanity and convenience. There's a lot, so let's make this quick, okay? Please, baby! Gonna start off with Movic, who made multiple miscellaneous items for the show, like tote bags, file folders, notepads, strap keychains, and even slippers of Hone Kaneko. They actually look kinda comfy too, very fuzzy. Gainax would of course also make a bunch of miscellaneous items with tissue boxes that were released on November 30th, 2010 for 400 yen, decoration tapes, a mug, scrunchies, badges released on December 28th, 2010 for 500 yen, a muffler towel coming in pink and yellow released on September 8th, 2011 for 1,050 yen, badges based on the credits, and monitor and keyboard covers. Then Presto would also make a ton of miscellaneous merchandise. First and weirdest are the Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt headphones. These were released as prize items in Japan on November 26, 2010, and they probably sound very, very awful, but I would still wear them for the novelty. They made tumblers as prizes released on November 26, 2010 as well. A stationery set that was prize E of their Ichiban Kuji Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt Lucky Lottery line. The three types consisting of Panty backlace notepad with a Panty sticker, a Panty file with stocking sticker, and a stocking file with a Demon Sister sticker. Drinking glasses that were prize D of the Lucky Lottery, coming in sales of Panty and Stocking, Scanty and Knee Socks, and even the damn cowpers. Bam Presto would also release towels of Panty, Stocking, and Panty and Stocking on July 29, 2011. And lastly, mugs that were released as prizes on June 8th, 2011. Costco will make a massive chunk of shit too. A strap keychains that were released in 2011 for 800 yen. Notebooks for both the Angel and Demon Sisters, a weird green goopy mug, rubber keychains that were released in March 2011 for 600 yen, a tissue box where the girls asked to be your tissue instead, tapestries for both sets of sisters, the Panty and Stocking one being released in February 2011 and the Scanty and Knee-Socks one being released in May 2011 for 5,000 yen each. A motherfucking clock that giving you all the timestamps you'll ever need released in May 2011 for 2,500 yen, a set of tote bags for each set of sisters, the Panty and Stocking one coming in gray and yellow, and the Scanty and Knee Socks one coming in black, with both releasing in April 2011 for 1,500 yen. And lastly, a messenger bag that was released in June 2011 for 4,200 yen. Galaxy is up next, making multiple badge sets for the show, iPhone 4 cases, earrings of Hanako Neko and Chuck that were distributed by Galaxy, or actually just repaints of the Fat Company's figures from their twin packs, a Heaven Coin money clip, and Panty's eye mask from the episode Sex in the Don City. Sega will make some small pillows in November 2011 as prizes. The company's Empty and Hobby Stock will make a line of Panty and Stocking D4 Serious rubber straps that were blind bags released in May 2011 for 476 yen. But She Rode would make Panty and Stocking car sleeves released on May 14, 2011 for 700 yen. K5 Spec will make a lineup of Panty and Stocking cosplay grasses, with Knee Socks getting a case and cleaning cloth. GE, being the primary US Panty and Stocking merchandise company, will make a lot of stuff, of course. Magnet sheets, a towel, a few tapestries, rubber keychains, blinders, cloth wristbands, rubber wristbands, badges, pins, wallets, a Hello Kitty necklace. Better hope no one tries to steal your chain. Messenger bags, patches, file folders, a notebook, a Hello Kitty backpack, metal keychains, rubber straps of Panty and Chuck, and a set of briefs buttons. Another company making a lot of Panty and Stocking merchandise was M's, seemingly focusing on making miscellaneous items in general, as most of their releases were just a little before the Panty and Stocking 2017 cafe. The first thing they would release would be body pillow covers, not just for the Anarchy Sisters, but also for Brief, all released on December 29, 2016 for just 9,000 yen. They released badges for 400 yen, files for 350 yen, acrylic keychains released for 800 yen, all released on February 2017. They also released mugs based on the episodes The Diet Syndrome, High School Nudicle, and If the Angels Wore Swimsuits released on March 2017. And lastly were tapestries released on March 16, 2019 as limited items exclusive to Village Vanguard stores in Japan, which sold for 2,870 yen. Arma Bianca made a few more items, releasing a set of acrylic keychains for 4,000 yen, and a set of badges for 3,200 yen, and a mug that was 1,800 yen. All released in August 2017. Trans made some pretty cool Panty and Stocking key holders released in 2010 for 1,600 yen. I don't remember making these, but they're really cool. Another US company that made Panty and Stocking merchandise, with their specialty being utilities, was Buckle Down. making bifold wallets, hinge wallets, seat belts, and key holders. And next up are the Panty and Stocking 2017 cafe items. They're releasing file folders, mini towels, a long towel based off the episode Ghost, the Phantom of Dawn City. Of course, there are plenty uncategorized items, so let's make this quick as well. There were postcards, a go-go-go tumbler that came in the colors red and green, what seems to be either files or postcards, some phone cases, a keychain with the girls in their cop uniforms, a tapestry with the girls in wedding-like dresses, a bag that describes the tomb in multiple words, perfumes that are probably stale by now, glittery cards, a strap thing that even features the CalPERS again, a PSP cover, and straps. The Amashi event had a shitload of items as well, some featuring just Panty and Stocking and others of them being a part of the Trigger characters. Acrylic stands, canvas art, folders, tote bags, posters, badges, stickers, postcards, and an eco bag. And at the event there was also this Osmo stamp by Shaka Hiata Inc. There is also a lot of new Panty and Stocking merchandise here too. The first being of these acrylic stands released by Trigger in August 2023 for 3,000 yen. At the Akihabara store, Panty and Stocking logo stickers were given out at 7 p.m. on December 24th, the same day the trailer for new Panty and Stocking with Guarded Belt released. And at the Anime Expo on March 23rd, there was even more stuff giving out. There was a postcard, a sticker that came in a condom-esque packaging with a QR code for the original soundtrack on the back, and a set of hologram cards. And lastly is the Panty and Stocking with kadokawa carnival-themed items, which are pretty simple items. Tapestries, stickers, acrylic stands, badges, and files. Alright, I'm done. Well, this is probably still isn't every piece of Panty and Stocking with Guarded Belt merchandise ever made. I feel like I did a good job documenting a lot of it. Maybe. Of course, with new Panty and Stocking with Guarded Belt around the corner, new merchandise is definitely going to be coming with it. But quite frankly, I don't want to do this again. At the end of the year, I will find a way to cover new Panty and Stocking with Guarded Belt merchandise in a more low-key way that doesn't require scripting, recording, editing, and a bunch more shit that takes time and effort and shit to do. Hope you enjoyed the video though. Thanks for watching. Leave that old one to die. Bye bye.